Well, this is it. It's crunch time. This is the last day of the trip. We've got our ferry to catch out of Dublin tomorrow, and we're still £17 short of our target. What are we going to do about it? Well, we found a lake that we can fish just outside the town of Virginia. If that produces £17 of fish, we're on the ferry. If it doesn't, we're in big trouble. Don't spare the horses, Reb. You're stuck behind a JCB. Well, we're at the lake, as you can see. We're set up. Mick's trying for a few pike, and I'm fishing on the pole for basically whatever I can get, and at the moment it's small skimmer bream and roach like this, which probably go about 10 or 12 to the pound, so I've got a lot of work cut out if I'm going to catch £17.
Well, Matt's catching some quite small fish on the pole, so I'm trying to help him out. I'm fishing a worm down the margin on a waggler float, but unfortunately I'm still catching the same stamp of fish in the maybe 2 to 3 ounce class, and as Matt said, it's going to be a hard day's work to build up £17 of those, but we've got no choice.
Sitting here, a couple of things worry me. The first one is that we know very little about this lake and the species it contains, the size of the fish it contains. It looks like a nice place to fish, and it obviously does contain coarse fish because there's a few signs around the fishery that say so. Just looking around the lake, there's no one else fishing here today, so that does worry me a little bit. It's a problem we've encountered all the way across Ireland, and I'm just hoping that today we're on a lake where the fish have been left alone and there's a few for us to catch. What I've decided to do tactically is to put in some ground bait on the deck with some casters in it, fish maggots over the top and pick off a few of the smaller fish just to build some weight, and then periodically switch across to a bigger bait like casters or worm that's less likely to interest the small fish. Just make those periodic changes to see whether the bigger fish have moved in.
Even though we're only catching tiddlers, you've got to work to a bit of a sensible procedure. Fire out a few maggots first of all, just to get them interested. Make sure you've got a bait on. Well, that's the tackle, very, very simple. 2 maggots on a size 16, little 3BB float, set about 18 inches deep, just the way you would when you start fishing when you're a kid. Go into easy waters where you get plenty of bites. And that's certainly what you get here. This is a really easy water for catching tiddlers. Float out, just sink the line a little bit, just wait for them to come round. Oh, lovely little bite developing. There it goes. Got one straight away. Another 30 yards. I doubt whether this one will take me to the end of the platform. But they all count.
What can we do to go for a bigger fish?
Probably fish worm on the bottom and just wait.
You think we should do that?
I'd put some corn and worm down. Well, put corn down and fish worm on it. I think if you wait with the worm, you might get some better breed than roach. I mean, I have tried worm and I can't get a bite on it.
Yeah, but you're fishing 2.5 foot deep, Mick, that's why.
No, I started off on the bottom with it.
Well, I've always believed if we carry on like this, we're going to have to fish till the cows come home, and guess what? It looks like they are. we're grinding away at it here. I've tried fishing on the bottom for bigger fish. Absolutely nothing showing. The lake's absolutely solid with very small roach and skimmer bream, and that's almost a sure sign really that it's been netted. Mick's had no action at all from the pike. These are the smaller fish that have either escaped the net or they're basically fish that have bred, and you've got a huge fry survival rate because there's nothing to predate on the eggs. I don't think we've got any choice but to just hope by grinding away at it we can catch 17-pounder fish, but it's an awful lot of bits.
Well, I think I've had about 40 tiddlers now, and they've not all been real small. Some of them are maybe 4 ounces, so I reckon I may have around 3.5 pounds at the moment. And if I can double that and Matt can match it, then we're pretty well there, really.
And a skimmer bream.
I really do think we've got a chance of doing this now. About another 220 fish and we'll be there. Probably be midnight, but we're going to stay at it till we do it.
I'm about 2 or 3 hours behind Mick, and what I'm trying to do is catch him up, basically. Mick's sort of acting as a pacemaker. He doesn't realise it, but I reckon Mick's on target for about 8 or 9 pounds of fish. And really, I need to produce the same. So I'm trying to catch more than Mick in the time that we're fishing, just to try and catch him up. But I don't think I'm succeeding. I'm probably keeping pace with him now, but I'm probably not catching enough fish to match what Mick's going to put in the weigh bag at the end of the day, and that's a problem because we need 17 pounds, and I think I'm on target for about 5 or 6 at the moment. It's a real blow. But the interesting thing with this speed fishing is we're fishing up in the water, trying to catch these fish, what we call on the drop, as the bait falls through the water. And it's all about speed. It's all about getting into a rhythm, feeding occasionally, watching the float like a hawk, getting the strike right, because the bites are absolutely lightning fast. It develops a momentum of its own, really. Little roach. It's not the best fishing in the world, but it's what we need to do. We're just trying to grind a result out now. And the more efficient you can be at this sort of thing, the more fish you're going to catch. But I fear the Duke has set too strong a pace for me to match, and it could be me that lets the side down, actually. Well, as I'm fishing here, I'm starting to get a little bit concerned because all the time I've got one eye on the sun over there, which is dropping down very quickly towards the horizon. I've been baiting up a swim for bigger fish by balling in some ground bait with casters, and I've periodically dropped in over the top of it with nothing to show yet, but I'm just beginning to wonder whether I should go for the gamble and try to nail a couple of bigger fish. They may not even be here, and that's part of the problem, but it would get us over the finishing line. So I just don't know. I mean, I can pound away at these little critters, I suppose, and hope that I just about get enough, but very touch and go. Well, I'm going to go out for the bigger fish. I'm going to move the float up, go more over depth, and I'm going to see if I can snare a bigger one. I've put out some ground bait earlier on. Periodically I've been trying over the top of it. I'm going to try again now. It's going to lose me valuable time fishing for the small fish, but I feel I've got to do it.
A lot of fish, but I don't think it's going to amount to much weight. Hey, that's more than I thought. Hey, that's great. Now, what does Matt need? Oh, if Matt's got £7 or just under, then we've done it. Let's go and weigh Matt's in.
Well, I'm sorry, Mick,
What you got there?
but I think I've let you down, mate.
Right, Sea Road.
I started 2 hours too late, and I saw what you were doing and I tried to keep up, and I think I probably did, but that 2 hours has cost me dear, mate. I'm sorry.
Oh, I don't know, mate.
I do.
You could have caught more, but I think that might be enough.
I don't think so. I've spent a lot of time messing around for big fish on the bottom.
I underestimated my catch, actually.
There's quite a few more in. That's a lot of hard work, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I underestimated my catch by
Yeah,
that.
but
So
I can tell you've got a good net.
you've done all right.
Woo-hoo-hoo!
8.10.
Yes.
8.10, so that means we've got just a tad under £19. We've done it. Well done, us. We're there.
Well done, mate. Well, we've only done it by about £1.5 pounds, but we have squeaked in. We're on the ferry. We're going to Wales tomorrow, and then that's the next leg of the journey. We ain't out of the woods yet. We've got a lot of fish to catch in front of us, but I'll tell you what, that is a great result. Well, this is it. We're on the way. We're just getting on the ferry now at Dún Laoghaire, and in about 2.5 hours' time, we're going to be in Holyhead, which is great news. We've endured all kinds of bad weather, the wettest spring in Ireland for however many years. The van was cramped, uncomfortable, and full of wet clothes most of the time. The fishing wasn't easy, but we've done it, or at least we've done the first leg. Now we've got the challenge of the second one, and this one, well, it's going to be longer, but I think we can do it.